thanks for tuning in today. I wanted to share with you a walkthrough video that I shared on my Friday Substack article, which is all about how you can build software without knowing how to code. So while the walkthrough video is good, obviously, because you've got the visuals, I think you can still gain a lot by listening to the process and just thinking about what the opportunities are for you. It's pretty exciting times, and if you want to watch the video, I'll link to it in the show notes for this episode. Speak to you tomorrow. Hi there, I am running an experiment and I thought I would show you behind the scenes as I do this in real time. It's an experiment on two fronts. One is I'm actually using a tool called Descript to do the whole screen recording. Usually I use Loom to share my screen and record over the top, but I thought we'll give this a go. And the second thing is that I'm going to show you something that I've been talking about on Instagram stories that people have been interested in. I've mentioned this on my podcast, but I don't think anything really brings it to life unless you sort of see what is possible. So what I'm going to show you today is something called vibe coding. Vibe coding, what it basically means is if you can talk an idea out, then you don't need a developer, you don't need to know any code. AI can build the tool or system or software for you. So really the challenge then is thinking of what you want to create. And I was thinking I could just create, something a little bit meaningless, but I wanted to apply this to, a business challenge that I have. And so there's two places of where to start, and I'll share the second one with you in a second. But the first place to start is really thinking about your day-to-day operations and thinking, where are there bottlenecks in the process? Where do things get annoying? Where do they get stuck? Where are you copying and pasting a lot? Where are you doing repetitive work? That's the goals that you can then maybe create a tool around. The second thing is, if you're not too sure, but you've used a certain AI tool that's built up a bit of history about yourself, so it knows a bit about you, has a bit of memory, you can just go into it and ask it. And so this example, that's what I did. I said, knowing what you know about me, this is my prompt, what apps, tools, or games should I vibe code that might help me in my business? And it gave me actually a lot of different offers, which was really great. So I picked one and I thought, okay, by the way, I've trained my ChatGPT because usually the default is really nice, but I've asked it for the brutal truth. And if you're a paid subscriber to the Substack, I'm going to show more videos that actually show how you can set that up in the back end, and also some other cool things that I've created as well. But I just wanted to give you, for today's article, a bit of info. So the tool that I'm going to create is called Leanne's Media House Stack. And what it is, it's a personalized high output content system built to turn my everyday thinking into assets that drive visibility, credibility, and inbound opportunities without the grind of daily posting or batching. Well, I post on the daily anyway. So really what my challenge is I have the daily podcast. Sometimes I get that content and push it out onto LinkedIn. Otherwise it just sits there. Then I might have a keynote or something that I'm organizing a workshop and I'm looking for a story and I have to go through the back catalog. I just wish I had one place to find everything. At the same time, you have an original idea, you talk about it, could be a story, a reflection, and then you think, okay, is there a way that I could easily turn this into a framework or a hook for something in terms of my content? And so what it then did, what it's created is all of this stuff related to that. And I don't know how this is going to work. This is why I'm showing it to you live. The only thing I've pre-baked is this ChatGPT thing. Now, what I also want it to do is I want it to embed and link to my existing podcast episode so that every time I create a new episode, it'll automatically link into this tool. I won't have to do another click and cut and paste or anything like that. This is my personalized, so like Leanne's content library sits here. I also would love it to embed my LinkedIn post. If I post something on LinkedIn, like in the moment, it'll on the back end then capture that. I don't know if it can do that, but let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So what my next step is going to do. Okay. So what my next step is actually providing the RSS feed, and so you can get that in your software. So the next step is I'm going to get my RSS feed for my podcast. So you need those details. And I also put the LinkedIn for my posts, I think on LinkedIn. Anyway, we'll see how this works. But what it's done now is created Leanne's Media House Stack, the tool type. It's actually outlined the vibe of the thing, what different tools. And now I want to develop a brief. So here we go, develop a brief. All I'm going to do now, tech stack recommended, the front and the back end. I don't know what these mean, and I don't need to. AWS, okay, that's going to be stored on Amazon. Web services. All right, let's see. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste this. Now I'm going to open up, this is the site, aistudio.google.com. I'm using Google's Studio for this, so I can do many other explainer videos on other tools I'm using, like how I'm using ChatGPT, obviously, Claude, how I'm using Manus, Perplexity Labs. But for this example, I want to show you, this is the power of Google. So I just clicked the build button here, build apps with Gemini, and I could just write in one sentence, hey, I want you to, they've got examples here. Steer a continuous stream of music with text prompts, simulate a computer with a user interface that is generated dynamically from user interactions. So one thing you can do is you can go to a site like Spotify, you can screenshot it and go, I want you to create my own Spotify using free music off YouTube. And you could just do that. And I like this style. So you can actually screenshot existing sites and get it to build. So, copyright, wow, the whole thing is mind-blowing. All right, so I'm pasting that information into build, Google AI Studio. I'll probably fast forward this part. It's probably going to take a little bit of time. But we'll see what happens. And I haven't changed anything. So really, if I was actually doing this for a legit project, I'd actually go through probably a lot of what ChatGPT has created and maybe tweak some things, make it a bit more relevant for what I want. But I think based on what it knows about me, it will do, let's just see, a good enough job. We'll see. All right, now the code is starting. I don't understand any of it. That's fine. Allow this app to request access to microphone. Cool, okay. I think that's because I want to be able to record audio on the app and get it to transcribe that and then help out with content. I don't know, maybe we'll see what happens. Okay, there's so much more code now, and it continues. All right, the previewing is starting. Oh my goodness, what will this look like? Okay, here we go, preview. So what I'm going to do is just close this down. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And this is my media house stack.